All right then, gang. Welcome back then, Faster Performance then. So this is for the basic group. Obviously the advanced get this as well. And it's all about the Tony Robbins RPM method. And his 5 C's he uses. Now, Tony Robbins, massive self-help guru. He came up with this a few years back, actually, and it's an interesting one. And I want to take bits from it. Now, why are we going to use this? The reason we're going to use this, and I am going to use a whiteboard as well with some of this to kind of explain you, not one of the big whiteboards I have behind me, but this one's on a computer screen. So we're going to talk that through. The reason that he uses this is because he realizes that people don't actually do the things they say they're going to be doing. So they never take action. They might make some plans, but they never actually do them. And he's always said that the execution part is the hardest thing when it comes to actually getting stuff done. Now, if you can nail that, if you can actually go out and do things, you put yourself above like 99.9% of the population. Again, that top 0.1% of people that are actually able to do something, actually able to achieve. Now, he breaks it down to the whiteboard. Boom. He breaks it down into these 5 parts, okay? This is about what you do on a Sunday evening. On a Sunday evening, we have a masterclass with the advanced group. And last Sunday, maybe the one before, I think it was, we talked about the power of hard work. And we spoke about a guy called David Goggins, who was a Navy SEAL. And we talked about his attitude towards hard work. Now, that's not I'm saying go out and do loads of hard work. It wasn't about that. It was trying to work out whether you could apply yourself full on in one of many areas of your life, just one of many areas. It could be in your physical sense. It could be in your mental sense. It could be whatever it might be with your kids. It could be with your husband or your wife. It could be anything. And that's what we're talking about is like, what if you did? I'm not saying to do it, but what if you did go all out and say, I'm going to work so hard on my fitness. That is my number one thing I'm going to do. It's going to be crazy. What kind of results could you expect to get? It's very interesting to think about that. And that's what we did. We did the whole class at that. And we're carrying on to think about it. And then this Sunday, we're going to go over another section of that. And we're going to keep bringing these ideas in. Okay, we went quite deep in some certain areas of that. So in order, if you were going to go out and work really hard at something, well, that's all well and good. But of course, you could say, I'm going to be really, really good at getting stuff done. Well, again, that's fine. But as we know, that doesn't really happen with people. People like to talk a good game and they don't really like to action things, okay? So what we're going to do then is have a look at his plan about how you can do this. So Sunday evening is when it normally starts. You look at your week ahead. There are some things that you've got to do. These things need to be scheduled. This is the capture part where you get a piece of white paper, A4 paper, and you write down all the things that you really want to get done this week, okay? You really want to get these things done. And we're going to have a look at the RPM bit of that between capture and create plan in a second. So right now we're capturing. That's what we're doing. We're capturing what we need to do this week. It might be like, I'm going to write a chapter in my book. I've got to take my kids to football practice. I'm going to help my mate out, sort his garden shed out like I said I would. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a gym 3 times. I'm going to use a gym 3 times. I'm going to meditate at least twice. You get the idea. And you write these things down on a piece of paper. You're capturing all these things. Now, once you've done all that for the week ahead, you can now have to create your plan. Now, what you do with your plan is you say, right, well, some of these things are scheduled. They're fixed. Like my kids have to go to football practice at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I've got to write that down. Or 7 o'clock on Wednesday, I can't do anything else because I've got to schedule my kids going to football practice and I've got to go there with them for 2 hours and sit there and be bored out of my mind. Doesn't matter. It's for the kids. Wednesday, 7 p.m. I've got to do that. Or you say, well, Sunday, at 6 o'clock, whatever, I'm in Tim's masterclass. So I want to be there for that because I'm learning some stuff. 6 o'clock Sunday, write that stuff down. Fill in those things because they are scheduled. They're immovable. You can't change those. They've got to go. Everything else you put into blocks of time. And you say, how much time am I going to take to do this? Well, I've got to book a dental appointment at some point this week. I've got to be at work. So maybe lunchtime, I need to take 20 minutes to phone around some dentists and see whether I can get myself booked into a dentist appointment. So I reckon I'll allocate 20 minutes for that some point this week. Now, you can fill those in now if you want to. Remember, they're flexible. They can be moved, all right, those things. So Sunday evening, all right, Sunday evening you got these things. Now, the key here is really not to overcommit on those blocks. The schedules are committed already, the blocks aren't. Because what you're going to do now, you've created your plan, you're now going to commit and you're trying to schedule those things in, okay? That's what you're doing. So you say, right, well, I've on my 3rd C then, commit and schedule. I'm going to commit to these things. I'm going to commit to that football practice, taking the kids there 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Commit to Tim's masterclass on Sunday. I'm going to commit to whatever the thing was, helping your buddy out with his lawn or his shed or whatever, his garage clearance. I made that up on a Friday. So those things are in there. You've committed to that. You scheduled those things down. Absolutely brilliant. Now you've got to fill in the other bits as well. But there's no point putting the other bits in really until the night before, he says, all right? So it's the night before when you start saying, what can I do tomorrow? Have I got anything on at lunch tomorrow? Can I schedule me booking a dentist appointment tomorrow's lunchtime? And when you get to the night before, you might be thinking, I don't know what Monday's going to be. Monday could be really, at work, I can't really commit to actually scheduling that dental appointment thing. I can't commit to it, so I'm not going to. Not Monday, okay? I'm going to commit to one meditation session Monday because I know I've got time in the morning to get 10 minutes of headspace in or whatever. That's how you fill out like the day before is what you're doing, okay? All right. The complete and the achieve bit, we're going to do the RPM bit in a second. The complete and achieve this is quite important, is you're going to confirm that you are going to complete these things. If they're on your schedule for that day, and it's the night before, you are going to complete them because you've thought about them using the RPM method, which we're going to come back to in a second, and then you're going to celebrate them. It's going to, I was great, I did everything well, because if you don't celebrate it, it doesn't get done. Let's look at the RPM method then. This is what it's all about. So once you've captured all these things, then you have to go through this RPM method before you create your plan. And this is all about why you want to do it, okay? So I'm going to write down here for you now. The first, the A stands for, here we go, results focused. Results focused, because it needs to be results focused, okay? Because there's no point doing this unless it's result focused. So it's like, why are you doing this, okay? And this is the next thing, purpose driven. So what is the result of you doing this thing? What is the result of you helping your buddy out? The result of you using the gym 3 times a week? What is that? Okay, it needs to be purpose driven. It needs to have something intrinsic within it to say, if I take my kids to the soccer practice at 7 o'clock, okay, I'm being a good mum, I'm helping them grow up, helping them get there, maybe I'm coaching in it, whatever, that kind of thing. And the last bit of this is massive action. And I'm going to try and reduce this font a little bit now so I can put some extra bits in here as well, okay? So when it comes to capture, when it comes to scheduling as well, he's talking about a big glass full of water, and everything that's big and it has to be in it, you put in first, and of course the water's going to overflow, but you need to get those big rocks in there, okay? The big things that you can't change, the football practice, the helping your mate out, those things go in there first. Let's just reduce this a little bit. Oh, we love this. This is pretty cool. Okay, we're going to put that there. All right, get the hand. We're going to move this across a little bit. This is crazy, people. Right, now what we can do then. So result focused. What does that mean then? Well, if we're talking about something being results focused, then we are talking about outcome. All right, that's what we're talking about. It's what's the outcome of this? What's the outcome of being results focused? So what am I going to achieve? This isn't working very well, is it? There we go. What am I going to achieve? What's the outcome of what I'm about to do? Okay, I've got all these things. So what is that? If I've got to help my mate out with his garage clearance, what's the outcome? Well, the outcome is the garage is cleared, all right? And my mate thinks I'm a really great guy, okay? So excellent. That needs to be something you think about in your mind of why you're doing these things. And here, when it comes down to purpose-driven, why and the reason that you're doing it. Again, as we said, you know the outcome is, so why are you helping your mate out? What's the reason behind that, okay? That needs to be squared away in your brain also. And then the last bit down here is about massive action. And this is about the 20% that does the 80%. Let's not use that. So the 20% of actions to get the 80% done. We'll talk about that in a second. It's the minimum time all the way out to the must of the time frame. I'm just going to put time frame down here really. So this is you analyzing your time frame bit, and then this is leverage. Can you leverage anything else? Now I'm going to explain that to you a little bit here. So let me just get this done here. And then with my arrows, you know you love the arrows. Maybe what? You want a different color arrow? Okay, let's do some blue arrows then. Why not? So we're talking about boom, results focused, purpose driven. Yes, massive action. Okay, that's what we're talking about now. So we spoke about outcome then. What does the outcome mean? As we said, the outcome then is, as I said, what happens when you do this thing? So what happens when you book your dental appointment? Well, you get it off your chest. You know you're gonna get your teeth all squared away and everything. You can go and have your hygienist appointment, whatever it is. That's the outcome. You book the appointment, you get an outcome. You get something in your diary, and you've ticked off something from your Sunday night capture list. Fact. Okay, purpose driven. So why do you need to do that? What's the reason about booking the appointment? Well, it's cheaper to book an appointment and pay 70 quid or whatever if you're going to do that than it is to actually have a filling in the future if you don't do it. So that's why you need to put that down there. Okay, that's the reason for it, because you want decent oral health and everything else. And massive action. Okay, what's that 20% that gives you 80% of the results? So, well, you could walk into a dental surgery and you could ask the receptionist, but she might be busy. So actually, if I just pick up a phone, well, that's great. But then have I got the number? So I'll tell you what, I'll put it in my cell phone, in my mobile, so it's there ready to go. So at any time, 20 minutes free at lunchtime, dial it straight up. Boom, there it is. I'm going to start Googling for the number or anything like that, okay? So I'm saving myself time there. The time frame I need to be doing it in, I said 20 minutes, so it's a minimum. It's going to take me probably 3 or 4 minutes, maximum 20 minutes to allocate to it. So that's the kind of time block, is a 20-minute time block. I'm allocating it then. And leverage. Is there anything else I can do to make this easier for myself? Well, yeah, I've got to book maybe an appointment in with the garage to get some tires changed on my car. So if I've got a phone in my hand and I've got 20 minutes free time, well, maybe I'll book that appointment as well. So maybe I'll put that one in next to it. And so maybe I can do all my phone calls really quickly at one lunchtime, just hammer through like 5 phone calls, whatever, just get them done. It might be, I think he uses an example saying, well, you might have other parents going taking their kids to soccer practice or football practice. So maybe you could say to some of the other mums, why don't we just get together and car share this, whatever, and 1 week I'll take all the kids and next week you take them all, and then I've got an evening to myself, and etc., etc. Leveraging all that time, okay? Really trying to get it together, guys. That's the whole point. And that's really as simple as it is. But to me, that's still too complicated, isn't it? You've got to remember those 5 C's, you've got to remember the RPM, and you've got to remember those reasons for that RPM. And I'm like, really? Because if I listed the 5 C's now, capture, what is it, create or capture stuff? Is it create, plan, and then commit, schedule, something else, and celebrate? So I'm going to struggle, aren't I? Because I can't remember the 4th C, and I don't want to look down there. So what have I done? I've committed and I've scheduled it. Then I can't figure it out. I've got to complete the course. So you see what I mean? It's difficult. It's difficult. If you think about it outside looking at the C's, it makes sense, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of paper on Sunday night. So walk through this in your mind. Okay, we're going to walk through this in your mind about what you're going to do Sunday night. So you might have a room, you might have a house, you might have an office, doesn't matter. So let's put yourself sitting there. So Sunday night, you go, I'm going to do this at 8 o'clock every night on Sunday, every week on Sunday. So I want you to take yourself now to where that place is going to be, where you're most likely to do this exercise, okay? I'm going to shut your eyes and get all weird on me, guys. Don't worry about that. Okay, well, let's think about it. This is my office. I'm probably going to come up here at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. After the masterclass with the Advanced Warriors, I'm going to come up here myself. And this is what I do. And I'm going to come into my office. I'm going to get a piece of paper. I'm going to get a pen. I'm going to think about that week ahead. I'm going to think, right, what are the things, let's capture all those things down here. What are the things I have to do? Right, well, like I've got to go and visit this big business with Airlist that I'm working at, and I know that's on Friday. So I'm going to write that down, for example. This is Sunday night. Right, so that's going to be scheduled. That's the whole day. So Friday, whole day. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it down. What else? I'm going from Monday to Friday. I'm just thinking, is there anything else I need to do? Well, I do a bit of rowing, so I know that happens for me on a Saturday morning sometimes, and maybe during the week as well, one of the evenings during the week. So I'm going to write that in. I know what evenings it is, and so I'm going to put their schedule. Put those things down. And what else am I thinking of doing? Well, I probably need to go and join a gym. I did join a gym actually, but let's pretend I'm going to join a gym. So at some point, I'd like to do that at some point. So I'm going to write that, join gym. This is your big to-do list, isn't it? For the week, you're being realistic, guys. Smart goals for the week, okay? Stand by. Get my tea on. What else? Put those things down. You're capturing it. So this is us walking through those 5 C's in real time. Don't worry about what the 5 C's are. We're just capturing stuff, okay? We're just putting all the stuff together, capturing things, okay? Look back at the whiteboard, okay? So now we've got to come up with that plan, as I said. So we're sitting up here going, well, how do I come up with a plan? Well, let's draw Monday to Sunday on a piece of paper. Keep it simple, little columns. And then you write in those things that you know you've scheduled. So you know, for me, I've scheduled Friday completely because I've got to go and visit the business. Saturday morning I've scheduled, maybe one of the evenings a week scheduled. So those things are immovable, they're schedules. Now I've got the blocks of time, and the blocks of time can sit on my paper because I can drop them in every evening. Every evening when I go, oh, what can I do tomorrow? You know, it might be something like Monday, I can go, oh, I'm just going to get that meditation done first thing. Brilliant, you know what I mean? I can do that. So that's what we're thinking about now, isn't it? The complete and achieve and the celebrate, that's going to come as we do these things. That's going to come every evening when you come back into your study and you get your piece of paper and you tick stuff off and you think, I'm going to move that there, move it around. Makes sense, doesn't it? So obviously the RPM is coming in after you've captured all those things before you create your plan, as we said. Okay, these things have to be results focused. We understand what that means. So there needs to be an outcome of doing it. Else there's no point doing it, is there? No point doing it. There's no point taking your kids to the football match if there's no match on or whatever, you know what I mean? It needs to be an outcome. It needs to be able to grow out of these things. It needs to be a why, as it says in there. And then you need to be able to take that massive action by working out how that 20% can get you 80% of the results, as I said, committing a time frame to it, and then seeing whether you can leverage anything else, you know, to harness the efficacy of what you'll be doing. I think that should make sense. Use the 5 C's, use the RPM if you want, or kind of do what I do now when I've read through it and I've listened to myself talking to you, and it's literally knowing what to do. Come and set yourself a plan Sunday night. Okay, have some flexibility in that plan, commit to getting stuff done, and then make sure when it gets to the next Sunday, you're like, I rocked this week, I got things done, and you'll be above 99.9% of everyone else. Legends. Guys, hope you appreciate it. I'm going to upload this because I've got a screen capture to now blend with this tape, to blend with the audio from this microphone here. To put that all together, and then I've got to render it, and maybe put a front and back on it, and then I've got to upload it to YouTube. And then from YouTube, I've got to take a link and I've got to paste it into Patreon and write you a little spiel on it. And then I've got to tell you all about it. Okay? So I can do it now. All right, guys, really appreciate it. Okay? Thanks so much. Talk soon.